Hi there, this is Devon Thumwood again on another episode of Going Deep with Dev. I'm joined here with our newest member featuring the show with Lach Pethick. Just say hi, Lach.
G'day, guys.
We've had a couple of weeks off here, so haven't been able to do an episode in here in a couple of weeks. But I heard you had a long history in playing water polo, and know that you've had a couple seasons playing with the Australian junior team. Whereabouts did you go with that Australian team, and how's that felt for you?
I went to my first junior world champs in 2014 as a 17-year-old. I think we came about 9th there. And then I went to World Uni Games the following year. Can't actually remember where we finished there. And then I didn't quite make it to my 2017 20 and under World Championships. So I gave it away before then to focus on other things and like my studies.
Nice. So whereabouts were those tournaments? You mentioned that you said you placed fairly well at both these tournaments, but whereabouts were they in the world?
2014 was in Istanbul. We did a bit of a tour of Europe, including Italy, Serbia, Hungary. We even got to go to Gallipoli. And then the tournament was in Istanbul. And then the 2015 World Uni Games was in Gwangju, which is South Korea.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So got to travel the world a fair bit there, so I bet that was pretty exciting for you. But as I mentioned earlier, we had the past 2 weeks off with the FINA World League competitions being here in Perth. How was those 2 weeks for you, not having, because we've had games pretty much every single weekend all the way leading up to that. I know a lot of the guys on the team have nursing a couple minor injuries and things like that. So was it good rest for you, or did you feel like maybe we wish we had a couple more games there as well to keep the ball rolling?
It was a bit of a good rest, but at the same time you want to have your last few games a bit closer together so the training load isn't dragged out as much. But training was fine, just missing a few guys like yourself, Galen and Husey makes it a little bit harder to have the session you're after.
Yeah, definitely. I can understand that. I've definitely missed the Torps practices, but happy to be back here and get going with it. With that said, we have two big games coming up here this weekend against Queensland. What can we expect from Queensland? As obviously I've never played them before, and what are we hoping to achieve this coming weekend?
Yeah, well, it's hard to say. Well, based on results, they're going quite well. But last year they were split into two teams, obviously, so haven't seen what they're made of since the merge. But I expect a pretty strong showing from them. There's obviously some good players in Queensland, so whatever's there, they'll be against us.
All right, well, I'll give them a good run for it for sure. I'm looking forward to that. But besides water polo, what do you like to kind of do around the outside of the pool? Like I know, obviously you mentioned that you're studying, but perhaps you could give us a day in the life of Lach Pethick here.
I study here at UWA. I finished a commerce degree 2017. And I'm now into my second year of a postgrad law degree. But I don't like to go to my lectures, so I don't really go to uni much. I get the work done, but I work in a bottle shop part-time.
A bottle-o, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, it's one of my favourite things to teach you guys new words, and bottle-o is one of them you should take home. Yeah, training at night, training in the morning. Study during the day, a bit of work here and there, and then I like to socialise as well.
Nice. So we have a high educated man here today. Pretty nice after having Riggs and Taz. You know, I don't really know what much to say about those guys, but do you have a specific song or genre you like to listen to before games or anything like that? That gets you pumped up for games and such.
I used to be really into my pump up music, but haven't really been doing it as of late. I'm a huge Eminem fan. Dev and I actually went to an Eminem concert together in Perth. And I would have to say that if I was going to listen to pump-up music before a game, it would be Eminem.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember going to that concert. I remember we were out together one night, and you said, "Do I like Eminem?" and literally bought that ticket from you maybe the next day. So Eminem's big pump-up for both of us. Good to hear. Actually, my next question here I have for you is, speaking of music, who do you say has the worst taste in music on the team out of all the guys that we've played with and stuff? Who do you say just has the terrible worst taste in music?
In years gone by, it's been Andrew Ford, hands down. And following in his footsteps this year, you'd have to say Tom Powell. He commands the front seat in every car trip, on road trip, and just plays crap music all day. despite the request of the passengers to change something else.
Yeah, I've sat right behind Powell, and he's some of the songs that he's playing. I have no idea really what kind of music this is, but would you say there's a general team song that we like to listen to before games, or just like as a team song, just kind of gets the guys going or anything like that? If it's appropriate for a general audience.
Yeah, we did actually discover our team song in Sydney, but I can't disclose the name of the song. But maybe we can post it somewhere in the description.
All right, well, we'll talk to Chris about getting that link up there. But okay, my next question here is recently learning this term, this Australian term called stroppy. Perhaps you could give a definition of what stroppy is before I actually ask my question. Well, from my belief, it's just someone who's really grumpy or in a bad mood or something like that. Is that the correct definition of that term?
Well, I think like a lot of Australian slang, it ends up having a lot of meanings, perhaps more than originally intended. But yeah, your description's not too bad. If someone's having a bad day and they're taking it out on the boys at training, they're stroppy. If someone doesn't come to training, they're stroppy. If someone trains badly, stroppy.
So really, stroppy can mean really pretty much anything. Yeah. All right, gotcha. Okay, so with that said, who would you say is like the stroppiest guy on the team, or in my definition, the grumpiest, in a bad mood most of the time?
Oh, that's a tough question. Obviously, it changes on a day-to-day basis, but stroppy Rigor would be the first thing that comes to mind, closely followed by stroppy Galen.
Yeah. Well, I can be a testament for stroppy Galen. Has been on a teammate with his for the past couple of years, but Riggs is definitely up there as well. Cool. All right, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to say one word, and I want you to tell me the very next word that pops into your head after I say the word. So, it might be a person, it might be a thing. You just say whatever word pops in your head first, and as long as it's appropriate. So, yeah, we'll go with that. Ready? All right, so my first word I have for you is DK.
Happy birthday.
All right, well, DK, our head coach, is just his birthday today, so good for him. What about poutine?
Vladimir.
Do you know what poutine is?
No.
Poutine is like a food in Canada that we like to eat. It's like a dessert food. Like
What's it really called?
Poutine. It's just like French fries, gravy, cheese curds. No?
Okay, so chips.
No. All right. What about Husey?
Good family.
Funny you mentioned good family. Dating his sister, right?
Yeah, Alex is my girlfriend.
Nice. All right. What about Riggs?
Stroppy.
Fair enough. Canada.
Unsure.
That's not what you'd tell me if we weren't recording this. I know that. All right. What about hockey?
Ice hockey.
Hockey.
Looks interesting.
All right. What about lazy?
Goalkeepers.
Fair enough. Yeah. What about Rue?
Me.
Okay. And last one. What about Dev?
Stroppy also.
Come on. All right. Pretty good responses there. Next thing I'm going to do is you're pretty keen on your Australian terms, and when Galen and I say something Canadian, you're pretty quick to give us some banter there, back and forth. But so,
correct word.
no, some banter. So what I'm going to do here is lift off a couple Canadian terms for you, and you're going to give me your best bet of what you think it is, and if you can translate it. All right, you ready? All right. So my first Canadian term for you is what? So like when we're doing some warm-up, we like to do some whip kick.
Reluctantly, I admit that I know that's freestyle kick.
Wrong. Whip kick is breaststroke kick. All right. And then what you're talking about is my next term on the list was actually called flutter kick, which is freestyle kick. But good effort there, Lach.
Simplicity. Freestyle kick. Butterfly kick.
I know, but then you get confused if you're swimming freestyle or doing breaststroke. Anyway, what about a lap or a length of a pool?
A lap. We just call it a lap.
But what about so when you're playing Mario Kart, you've done a whole lap, you've gone around the whole circle. But here you're saying just swimming there is one lap.
Correct.
False. All right, moving on. What about pop? What's your favorite kind of pop you like to drink?
Does that mean soft drink?
No, it's just a pop. Like Coke, root beer? What do you like?
I'll go Coke then.
All right. Next.
I know what root beer is.
All right. Do you know what this Canadian term? This Canadian term is called homo milk. Do you have any idea what homo milk is?
Do you drink it?
It's my favorite kind of milk.
I can only imagine. No, I have no idea. No idea what it is.
So homo milk is just like your creamiest milk, like the 3.25% whatever. But in Canada we call it just it's called short for homogenized milk. But
Instead of just full cream milk.
no, full cream is like just cream that you put in your coffee.
No, that's what you get at the supermarket out of a milk carton.
All right, moving on.
You call it homo milk.
It's just homo milk, yeah. All right, previously on another episode, I discovered what a bottle-o was, as we talked about earlier, that you work at one. Maybe you could take a guess at what some of these Canadian terms that I would go to purchase at a Canadian liquor store, not a bottle-o. But all right, so have any idea what a Mickey is?
No clue.
All right, what about a 2-4?
A carton.
What is a carton?
24 beers.
All right, yeah, good. Actually, first correction you got right. All right, and then what about a 2-6?
2 6-packs of beer.
No, that is a 2-6 of liquor. So like a little bottle of liquor.
How big?
Like 750 milliliters, I believe. All right, what about a 40?
Not sure.
Well, 40 is actually a bigger bottle of liquor. So it's actually called a 40 because it's 1.25 liters, which makes 0 sense.
That
But
thing you said there, the metric system you're using,
yes,
stick to it.
liters.
Yeah.
Yeah, we tend to, but for some reason we like to mix it up with our southern neighbors, and
Silly, isn't
yeah, it doesn't really make sense, to be honest. But that's really all the terms I got for you. So thanks for taking the time, and appreciate it. And thanks for all our listeners here for taking part of another episode of Going Deep with Dev.
Thanks for having me. Cheers.
Cheers.